Okay, so this was done in After Effects. And so what I did is I rendered out each one of these separate. Okay, so I rendered this out separate, that out separate, that out separate. Then what you can do is this timeline, this is referred to as a comp. Okay, a comp is where you're putting it together. Okay, so I can put each one of these in its own comp, and that way I can trim it to whatever size I want. So this composition, you can go to composition settings up here, and you can tell it exactly what size. Now I went ahead and figured out what this was. I went into Photoshop and said, okay, if it's certain wide, and I divided by thirds mathematically, how big does everyone have to be? So, you know, I figured that out. Then I made a comp that correct size, and then I placed my animation in it. Okay, and then I did that for each one of them. Okay, so once I've got the three comps, then I make a new comp, and this comp, let's see here, is here. Okay, and then you just drag these other comps into it. Okay, so I could right now go, okay, let's make a new composition, and I'm going to do 1920 by 1080. Okay, so there you go. There's the new composition. And then I can take these other composition, like this one's number 2. So in this new composition, and I can, you know, I can rename this. Call this like Final Edit or something like that. And then I'm going to put, and I just drag down number 6 and I put it in here. Oops, that's the wrong one. Sorry, not number 6. It was number, what was it? 2. Okay, so I go to this Final Edit and I bring number 2 down. There it is. Okay. Then I can just move it, you know, and I'm holding down the Shift key, and then it'll move perfectly horizontal. Okay, and then 3, I can drag that in. Okay, and it goes right in the center. And then what's my other one? 4, yeah, 4. Drag that into this composition. So this is what's called nesting compositions. I'm going to drag this one over here. So I'm nesting a composition inside of another composition. And then these are, how long are these? These are 120 frames. So this composition, we'll make this 120 frames. And then there we go. And if I hit my space bar, it's loading it into RAM. It'll take a second, and then it will play it. There you go. So you're nesting compositions. Of course, it's more frames than that, but anyway, you get the idea.